the teams to kind of move around and can allow you to push up some other frontliners in that case. And I know that Zero moving in is going to be using that T-Tech, so we should get to see a little bit of that action. But we've talked earlier, once this gets past that first dogleg, that first bend, it can go fast and far. So we will hope that neither one of these teams falls into that trap early on.
Compositions, wholly unsurprising, wholly uninspired. It's basically the exact same thing we've been seeing all tournament long. We are seeing Fuzzy immediately go down, however, as Peppa Pig is going to immediately jump on top of the tower, is returning to that role of the end parry dualies. And as we talked about when Zero first came in, a lot of the pressure of being a frontliner has been taken off of Peppa Pig, and I think that's exactly where they excel as a player, building up those inkjets, being of secondary presence, but letting Zero really be the front line.
And now you see already Zero going to be using that inkjet, forcing people back out of there. We'll see if they're able to get anybody up to move past that checkpoint, and they do actually, as Peppa Pig takes out another one. Hexen barely staying alive and is in a good position, actually. Peppa Pig, again, going to jump down along with Zero. Hexen needs to find 2 kills there. He's able to get both of them, but Plantro is moving it up to 50. Believe it or not, this is still not all that dangerous and not all that scary. It really is getting past that second checkpoint where things start to snowball, but a great opening there from Kraken Paradise and showcasing exactly how you alternate between your specials and between your players. That time they started with a Stingray, they staggered in one inkjet, and then when that one went away, Peppa Pig popped theirs.
Can't understate the value of that triple kill by Hexen, mainly just staying on top of that box and using the exceptional range of the Jet Sculpture to ensure that even if they went away from the tower, there were a couple members that went behind the tower that none of them were able to escape and reset their special progress. So now Kiver able to jump down and get a great flanking kill there onto Kaji. I don't think he missed a single shot, and that Endeavor almost got boosted back into the water. That was basically a pixel-perfect stop by the wall there, and it's a 2-down situation now for Kraken Paradise to SetToDestroyX with their chance to push forward here. Plantro with the baller already. Kaji going to steal that kill as they were prepared with that splatling at the ready on top of the conveyor belt, and that's exactly what you need. If you're Kraken Paradise, you need a long-range weapon that is not afraid to be aggressive. Kaji using these conveyor belts and now the tower to get into the faces of SetToDestroyX without putting themselves in the immediate danger of falling within their optimal ranges.
And maybe a little bit too aggressive there on Plantro. You saw Plantro in a great position on the side of the map, trying to find out, trying to go up and put a little pressure on them that actually just kind of got them prematurely killed and gave up a strong front position. Plantro going to go back this way again, try to distract one of the frontline shooters there, gets the support from Zero and is at least able to force a trade out of it here. But this is kind of where things can stalemate a little bit. If Zero's able to come in and get this pick onto Penget, which he is, though he does go down to Hexen as a result, this opens things back up. And again, most of the game has been played right over here on this side, and that tells me that the slays are just a little bit too good, although Kiver's saying, you know what, forget your team slaying, I am Kiver.
Kiver just does essentially whatever he needs to. That's why he's playing Splatter Shot instead of 10 attack, is able to just freely roam around. If he gets too far into the Kraken Paradise zone, then he'll be able to just splash down and get away. But really, we can't understate Hexen's role as the janitor, just kind of finishing off some of those players that are already weak that might be on the tower. We see Kaji backing all the way off, the Stingray coming out on top of the tower as Plantro tries to get the kill, gets bumped away, and then immediately gets detonated by the splashdown of Kiver. Kiver really trying to cement another kill there onto Peppa Pig, and does so while holding on to this map control. It's a huge map, so making sure you constantly have map control is a massive boon in your favor. Plantro not even able to jump down as Fuzzy gets the kill on top of them. No parting shot for Fuzzy, though. 1 kill will be enough for them, and that's a 3-down situation. The last remaining holdout, Peppa Pig, will fall too, so likely a lead changeover unless Zero is able to do something dramatic that will indeed be the lead. They'll make it to the second checkpoint, but it may be a full team wipe from there.
And I know I've been saying his name a lot, but you have to give credit to Kiver for kind of being the mediator there, running left and right, ensuring that they weren't getting flanked and ensuring that they had enough room to set that push up. That's not something that shows up on the stat sheet, but it does show up in the points. So great job to him, and great job to Fuzzy moving in and staying on that tower when necessary.
Penget going to be moving all the way back here. Zero looking for a sneaky little kill right in front of him. And look at how many members of SetToDestroyX were backed all the way up essentially to their spawn. They were stacked in a line of 3. Peppa Pig looking to follow up on some of that momentum. Only barely misses the direct onto Kiver and will follow it up with that final shot. Fuzzy looking for an opportunity to jump down, but is getting accosted from behind him. Plantro with that wave of Ink there is going to be able to take the lead away from SetToDestroyX with less than 30 seconds, now 20 seconds remaining. Only Fuzzy remaining here, and they're going to have to try and use this Ink Rail to stop them. They're at the final checkpoint as well. No specials at the ready, just one now, and it's going to be the Stingray. Kaji trying to get some members. That's one, that's two, looking for a third. They're all the way over by the Ink Rail, and Fuzzy, the fourth one, is going to be attacked by Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig will do no more than distract them, but it could be enough. Fuzzy desperately trying to climb on top of the tower, but the detonation of the baller will finish this one off, and Kraken Paradise will take game number 1.
And fantastic coordination there of Peppa Pig's Inkjet alongside that counter Stingray. That was very intentionally placed and waited after Hexen used his. That's why you saw Kaji use it when it was optimal. And you saw Peppa Pig again, who earlier in the tournament you said was having a little bit of trouble there. Maybe the answer was to bring Zero in and allowed what was a very easy shot onto the Stingray user and able to get Kibber once more. And again, once it moved past that, it was so easy to get the push going further and further. SetToDestroyX never even got the chance to make that counter push.
The Inkjets were timed so perfectly and so crucially by Kraken Paradise. They used them right as STDX was coming back from spawn. They don't use them to force the 3 or 4 down situation. They use it to perpetuate it. They use it to make sure that the members that are coming back from spawn have to go through hell and back in order to actually reach the objective, the tower in this case. So that's why there were 3 members of SetToDestroyX essentially trying to take down one Inkjet user on the side of Kraken Paradise. They're going to have to adjust that strategy and make sure they don't get caught out again as we move on to Rainmaker Man's Maria. This is a very fast-paced mode. There are multiple ways, however, to get into mid. You can take the Leap of Faith on the far left-hand side to get to mid. You can use the high ground over by where the grates are, or you can go all the way around to the right, where snipers usually like to position themselves. So if anybody goes to sniper, maybe Kaji, although they have been favoring the Splatling here, that could be beneficial. The Splatlings, though, very workable on this map. Tons of grading and tons of opportunities to just paint from above and get plenty of kills that way.
Taking a look right here, you know, you talked about it. Not only is it workable, I think it might actually be a little stronger than some options on the sniper, and we are indeed going to see Kaji sticking with that. More or less the same compositions coming out from both teams, though Kibber switching over to the Dapple Dualies here, so trying to set up some more aggressive plays, maybe feel like they were getting maybe a little bit outplayed in those 1v1s, a little more mobility, a little faster time to kill. Very intentional play as we see Peppa Pig going already for a fantastic flank here, trying to get another one. But the combination of Hexen and Kibber going to be too much, not going to allow that to go any further, and this is now going the other way very quickly. Plantro just trying to stall as long as possible.
I'm still so glad that the spectator camera operator was able to look at Peppa Pig. I know that they're running that Ninja Squid, which is an unusual choice on an Imperi Dualies because you usually like to be out in the open rolling around a lot. Fuzzy trying to take Kaji off the high ground and actually tips them there with the very edge of their bullet, and Peppa Pig falling too. So this push not nearly over for SetToDestroyX. Kibber, the only one breaking the barrier so far, is able to get around past Plantro as Fuzzy's able to secure that kill. Fuzzy trying to get a path out of here, and this could be a dunk, but they're stopped just barely at 6. Imperi Dualies clutching it out as Peppa Pig will help lock down a 3-down situation against SetToDestroyX, but that was just the first minute of play. You now have a lot of time, but a huge distance to cover if you're Kraken Paradise, if you want to take this one up to a 2-0 lead.
And you saw that was right at the foot of the pedestal there. This is going to be, for all intents and purposes, a knockout necessary if they want to bring this back. Kibber stuck and actually manages to dodge out of that, as only Kibber seems to be able to. Still alive there at the top of the screen. The map turns purple very quickly, so this has been a great break back out by Kraken Paradise here. Zero opting to use this now, and this is actually a pretty nice path. If Zero's able to get a pick, is able to help with one. Pengit's going to be the last one to able to stop this. They're going to be able to push this, and actually, they opted to go for the top path. I don't know about that. The bottom was wide open.
And it's so easy to say that when we have an overhead view, but I'm not sure that they essentially knew that. It was such a great early pick. It was just kind of a stray splat bomb, actually, that was able to take them out. And then they used the Inkjet to provide a lot of momentum. Hexen going to be jumping that one off. It looked like he landed on the bridge, actually, but unfortunately for Squids, that bridge is not workable. still, the middle of this map remains completely purple, and Kaji going to be the designated Rainmaker carrier here, so they're going to be relying on their pure short to mid-range weapon carriers to push this one forward. There is somewhat of a path for them, but Fuzzy on top of the Greats here will help get that kill. Plantro expending yet another baller in order to maintain control over this platform. They're still painting this area, even though there's Toxic Mist covering the entire pathway. Kiver's going to go down. They have a great chance to push this one through. Hexen backed into a corner, and he'll fall to the Slosher again. They pop the Rainmaker barrier. Peppa Pig trying to push forward to take down Kiver. Kiver will actually pick it up and take down the Rainmaker carrier. Amazing strats here by SetToDestroyX to stop this one, even at the edges of turning over this lead. Peppa Pig, though, with a huge inkjet to keep this one going.
Oh my gosh, this pop's gonna happen immediately. This is gonna be the win right here. Nobody is there. And what great survivability by the members of Kraken Paradise there, knowing that it isn't enough to go in and just try to suicide push, that you need to do it maybe once, maybe twice, maybe even 3 times not being enough, but eventually, finally, you will get that prime inkjet. You'll be able to take people out. The Rainmaker pop is going to do the rest, and we said it had to be a knockout, and KP did not disappoint there. What a response.
I was sort of predicting that game to sort of be a match of attrition. After you push it all the way up to 6, if you're SetToDestroyX, if you're Kraken Paradise, you have to take every small victory that comes your way. Kraken Paradise says, absolutely not. We're going to have Kaji pick up the Rainmaker. That's taking away our long range, but it also makes sure that our inkjets are still there. Our baller is still there. Plantro with a couple of huge kills, forcing Hexen all the way back into that corner. A heroic effort there made by Kiver to try and pick up that Rainmaker, and actually stops it for a second, but there was just so much ink on the side of Kraken Paradise. SetToDestroyX with absolutely no specials to try and contend the push, and they will take an impressive 2-0 lead over SetToDestroyX. So this is not a situation that they are necessarily familiar with. Splat Zone's Mako Mark going to be our next map and mode combination. What do you think they need to do in order to take Kraken Paradise down in Game 3?
Well, we've said so often that Splat Zones is SetToDestroyX's strongest mode. I know it hasn't been going their way so far in this tournament, but at the very least, you know this is something you're familiar with. I feel like they've been doing the right plays for the most part, but Peppa Pig and Zero are just controlling the flow of the game. They're too strong, and Kaji seems to be that janitor, as you mentioned, cleaning up every little mess that may start.
So taking a look at these team compositions here, the biggest change that I'm seeing is that Hexen's going over to that H3 Nozzle Nose D, and Panget going over to the regular Rapid Blaster Pro. That's going to be the one that has the Toxic Mist and the InkStorm at its disposal, so they really are favoring that passive map control. On the opposite side of things, not much really changing here. They're still going to have a 10 attack, and these end pairs rolling around for Peppa Pig, and while Kaji stays on the Hero Splatling, so you can position your Hero Splatling on top of that platform and still have them make an effort on the zone, and it seems to be working so far. Kaji not being afraid to push up either, as Peppa Pig looks to spawn camp a little bit with this inkjet.
Oh, Fuzzy had the hard read on that one, knowing that one was going to be coming up there, and actually is able to get it. The lead goes the other way, though. Kaji set up very well, and I don't like that Kiver went in alone, just to kind of take this back a little bit. Actually kind of dove into the middle and put the rest of the team in a bad situation there. Zero going in, getting some more punishment here, but this timer continues to tick away. They need to build their specials. They need to find a spot, either left or right, to push in, because they're spreading out right now, and it's not working for them.
Yeah, one of the most underrated aspects of the inkjet is actually this height advantage. And Zero, when they were using theirs, the first couple of shots, they had a great height advantage over the other members, but they lost it almost immediately, and they were taken out just as quickly. A nice push there up to 36. Now SetToDestroyX getting rid of their entire penalty, as Kaji will fall. Fuzzy not with the range or the positioning here to take down Zero, and that builds up this inkjet yet again for the members of Kraken Paradise here. They are going to have to contend with this InkStorm. That's why people like it, is because you can just cap a zone without having to actually expend a body on top of the zone. And Hexen, it's not quite as long range as we were looking at with something like the custom Jet Squelcher, but it still gives you the ink armor and still gives you more range than something like a 10 attack or even an end parry.
And bold move by Plantro, running into what was essentially a 2v1 there of Hexen and Panget at the same time. That's a very rough matchup to run into at times, but got the pick quick enough onto Panget, and Hexen wasn't able to respond quite in time. Fuzzy going to get punished for that landing. Penalties back on the boards for both teams, as a bloodbath happening in the middle.
Nice job there by Kraken Paradise. Kaji, again, playing so aggressively there. I think if he hadn't ducked into the ink, he would have been able to secure the kill on the member of SetToDestroyX that was jumping out. And Kiver hasn't left yet. Fuzzy, right on top of the zone, looking for a kill, will end up trading with Flantro. Kiver going to splash down in order to secure yet another kill. So that's 2 down, looking for the 3rd one, but Zero going to stay alive just barely. The InkStorm may have finished them off. I think it was actually a trade with the Tentitech, but a close call. They took a lot of chip damage from that InkStorm, which is another major selling point of it. And now you let people like Pingit set up in exactly the position they want to be. The high ground, unfortunately for them, forced back by Flantro, and they will be forced back just a little bit, not even that much. The Stingray going to help out with that effort quite a bit. Peppa Pig going to be pushing in, but just doesn't have the range, trying to use it more so as a zoning tool, but it just doesn't work out. And SetToDestroyX, because of that, they get a couple of specials out of Kraken Paradise and the zone back.
Yep, they're going to take the lead with that as well. The exact order that you want in that situation. That was a very interesting move. You see that they're pretty much all set up at the bottom of the screen, setting 3 people there, and this time it is going to get punished. I was going to comment about how last time it worked perfectly. This time it's a full wipe, and we're going the other way fast. Keep an eye on Peppa Pig and Plantro. Are they going to wait? Are they going to push up? It looks like Plantro is going to pick one out there on the side. It is Fuzzy, forced to use that baller earlier, combining that with the Stingray. This timer digging dangerously close here. Let's see where they're coming from.
And you can see Plantro was trying to use that baller to climb up the box and get on top of the platform. If they had been able to do that, they would have been spawn camping a lot more easily. Peppa Pig now trying to watch these jump downs. The Inkjet seems to not be worried about the zone. They're worried about Peppa Pig a lot more. Fuzzy not going to be able to pick anything up because of it, and Kraken Paradise maintains control of the zone. And with that, they'll regain the lead. 15 points left to go as Fuzzy attempts to push back in, but there's multiple members just sitting on the zone with Peppa Pig securing the kill. Only 2 members now, 1 alive, and they don't have their special. A full wipe to cap this one off. And even though there were many more signs of life in SetToDestroyX in this game 3, Kraken Paradise is now 1 game away from not just a sweep of SetToDestroyX, but from claiming that 2nd spot in going to Japan.
I don't believe this right now. Peppa Pig apparently heard what was going on in that last set and said, this is my tournament. I am taking this over right now. Peppa Pig and Zero, both sporting massive KAs there. I don't think... This is unreal. Another 3-0? Is this actually going to happen? Are we going to get 2 sweeps of
Splatoon 2? It's right here on Endgame TV. You cannot catch a more hype tournament in recent memory.
Words are failing me right now. I don't think I've seen SetToDestroyX get swept once. Is it about to happen twice in the same tournament?
Oh boy. We now come down to game number 4. Clam Blitz on Snapper Canal. This is honestly the mode where just about anything can happen. It's a massive map, so you're going to be having to maneuver around quite a bit in order to pick up the necessary clams. I believe it was SetToDestroyX who built up 40 clams in a previous game. If they can do that and successfully get them banked, that's going to be so difficult to defend against. We've talked about quite a bit. Splat zones is their preferred mode. Maybe Clam Blitz is where they can turn it around. They need something here.
It's got to be a big answer. You have to rally the troops if you're SetToDestroyX here. That was your best looking game. It just wasn't quite enough. That's how the lockout phase goes sometimes in Splat zones. Sometimes the algorithm just doesn't favor you in that situation. Hexen going to stick with that H3. Looks like similar compositions that we've seen the entire tournament from both teams. They're just going to go with what they know here in Game 4.
3 out of the 4 members of each team are running Stealth Jump on a bigger map like this one. It is still a big map. You don't use a good portion of the map, which makes it feel smaller. Zero helping to get some clams here, and that's already a 3-down situation for SetToDestroyX, and almost 20 clams at the disposal of Kraken Paradise. So all they have to do is watch out for the spawners coming back on the side of SetToDestroyX. Kaji is back over on this heavy spotling deco now, so they're going to be looking for the bubble blower. However, a lot of that progress reset as the splash ball will not save them. Plantro chasing down multiple members of SetToDestroyX, but their baller actually gets broken and Kiver takes them out. So what could have been a momentous push stopped very immediately as all 4 members go down for Kraken Paradise.
Yeah, you saw they had a ball at the top of the screen, and of course they're on Kaji. So, I mean, that really was what they were looking for. Get the threat going one way and then have one coming the other way as well. But Kiver, credit him, really doing a great job sneaking behind that wall and really derailing that before it could even start.
Ink Armor and Splashdown use. They're actually going to use the bubble blower immediately, so really not waiting to use it on the side of a big push here. They're trying to stop whatever SetToDestroyX had going for them, and it seems to have paid off. They lose at least 3 of their members, and they're now down to the same number of clams, 3. Peppa Pig barely staying alive here, and neither team really in a great position to make a push. It's going to be another setup phase, as map control and mid mostly in control of SetToDestroyX, but I think Kraken Paradise really coming back here. They do have 2 specials at the ready. They do have both the Inkjet, which is being popped now, and the Baller of Plantro. That ever-present factor uses it right now and is going to try and get Kiver with it, but a teammate cleans up Kiver. They're just going to use it to try and detonate over by the barricade, which is a nice strategy, a very common strategy. They'll end up trading with Fuzzy, but that's about it. Still really nothing doing here, as neither team is able to get control fully.
That was a fantastically timed Ink Armor. Actually saved 2 people from that Inkjet. It's going to be just enough to make this probably stop here at 70. Could have been a lot more dangerous, and again, that's not going to be much penalty, but it is going to give SetToDestroyX this pity clam. We have talked about this before, colloquial named as you say, but it's more resources that they didn't have. They haven't had map control really this entire time, so giving them that resource might be what they need to get something jump-started. Peppa Pig going down early, some great shots there by Pengit, but again, Plantro jumping in. There's just so much pressure. This is SetToDestroyX's game generally, forcing the tempo from the enemy team, but it's been all Kraken Paradise playing that this time.
If there's anything that worries me about Kraken Paradise, it's that they push in without having that map control all the time. Most of their weapons don't have the curling bomb. You can't just zoom in, even though you don't have the map control. But Kraken Paradise pushes in unabashedly and is still able to at least come away with the trade, if not a kill like we just saw there. So Plantro going to be able to use the Ink Rail to jump right in, get rid of that penalty, and get them all the way down to 60. Plantro staying alive and also getting the kill into Hexen. I wasn't sure if that range was going to be a factor, but is able to come away with the kill. 2 members down, though, on the side of Kraken Paradise. Takes out Kiver as well. Plantro holding this one down single-handedly, and another member falls on the left-hand side. Another clam thrown in to try and keep this one around the halfway mark. They will get it all the way up to 42. Nice bomb as well there. Banked it off the wall to trade with Pengit, and even though this push is coming to an end very, very soon here with that full wipe, that is exactly what you needed. Now SetToDestroyX has to be feeling the pressure.
They have to be feeling the pressure, and there are so many things about that were just fantastic. Plantro winning that 1v1, Zero having the presence of mind to just throw a bomb saying, hey, I'm probably dead, why not? And now SetToDestroyX finally gets a little bit of map control, but at what cost? 21 points now, just a couple more power clams, and this one might be a knockout. Fuzzy going to be waiting for this one on the side, building up that Inkjet, probably going to try to use it here, may go ahead and pass that power clam, opts not to, instead trying to get this pick. Very difficult, and credit Kaji for at least forcing a trade in that situation.
That was exactly the situation we saw. They were at 28 clams where they were at 40 in a previous set. That gets dropped down to 0. Absolutely no clams thrown on the objective so far, and we've entered the final minute of play here. Peppa Pig trying to camp this claim here, and it's mostly going to be Zero that does the work, getting a couple of kills and now popping the Inkjet. They're going to find another one on the Hexen, and the last member is staying on top by the splash wall, so they're not going to be a primary target. That does allow the other members, though, of Kraken Paradise to freely pick up clams, and they're getting close to that 20 mark. The power clam is going to take all of their penalty down to 9. They're going to need an additional 3 clams to get rid of their penalty, and then 7 on top of that in order to win, or a power clam would do it as well. But they've already forced a 2-down situation. That's essentially 3 down. A lot of the hard work is done. This is where they can cap the game.
And what fantastic movement, what fantastic rotation. You saw back and forth, the shooters come up, Kaji come up, not letting anybody come in that position. Plantro now rotating over. This is as sharp a play as I have ever seen here in Splatoon 2. I think they're going to be rewarded with the win here with just 5 seconds left. No clams left on the clock. SetToDestroyX going to try everything, but it is not going to be anything. SetToDestroyX out at 3rd place. Kraken Paradise punches their ticket with a 4-0 sweep over SetToDestroyX.
Absolutely stellar play. Phenomenal. Plantro rolling over one of their targets in the final 10 seconds of play. A 15 KA for Zero and a 12 for Plantro in what was a relatively quick clam blitz game, all things considered. At least it flew by for me. Congratulations, Kraken Paradise of Europe, making it as our 2nd team to be sent to Japan. SetToDestroyX swept in one of the first times in history. This is a monumental occasion, and I'm so glad to share it with you all today. What a fantastic showing, and consistency is something that teams have so much difficulty with against SetToDestroyX, and Kraken Paradise was able to do that and more today.
Fantastic.